Welcome to yet another episode of We Global Employees Choice series, where we celebrate excellence in employee engagement and uncover the secrets of extraordinary winners and champions who are redefining workplace engagement and setting new standards in the industry. Today, we have Mr. Pallab Mukherji with us, the Chief People Officer at Equitas Small Finance Bank. Mr. Pallab is an auxiliary alumni. He started his journey in Arundel Mills as HR manager, then moved to BFSI sector. He has more than 2 decades of experience in handling the HR functions, starting with HDFC, IIFL, and now at Equitas Small Finance Bank. Over to you, sir. We welcome you. So, first of all, we congratulate you on winning the We Global Employees Choice Award, and we have certain questions for you so that you can inspire others to win it.
First of all, thank you, VMatter, for recognizing our efforts. And a big thank you to our employees who have recognized these efforts. Coming to the question per se, I think I would want to say that I'm not sure if initiatives, I think it's more to do with the culture that you build in an organization, and that's what we want to percolate across all levels. So that the employees feel that they're wanted at their workplace. Okay, so that's the objective. Uh, when we restarted the HR at Equitas during COVID period, we coined a logo for ourselves, and the logo reads uh, "Care and Connect." Okay. Uh, so some of you would have received mails from us, and you'd find the logo down below. And this care and connect theme is what we want to carry across our organization. So, what is this care and connect all about, right? So, firstly, care, I think, comes from commitment, comes from confidentiality, because when you're there are obviously personal matters involved when you're caring for something, and care and comes from consistency. Like if you're doing it for a person A, you have to do it for person B, because that's what fairness demands, and we pride ourselves in our fairness and transparency index as an organization. So it's a stated value of the bank, and we pride ourselves on that. The connect piece comes from three other A's, okay, which is availability. So, what I mean by availability is that all all of us are available to employees in the sense that all our hand phone numbers are actually published on our on the HR app. Okay, so any employee at any point of time can connect with me, the MD, the uh, other business leaders whenever they want. So and that's 24/7 kind of stuff. So that's how we have done that. Along with availability, there needs to be two other elements, which is approachability. Like I'm available, but if I'm caught with the junior most employee, then I'm probably not helping build the culture, right? So, and that at a leadership level, we are extremely conscious about. And Vasu drives it from himself, and he answers all employee mails, queries on his own, and he encourages us to do the same. Um, and the last part is adapt. I feel the HR team needs to be competent enough to address issues. If you're not competent, then over a period of time, your scale will go down. So that's how we build it. And obviously, the overarching theme is trust, right? So unless I build trust in the organization, trust in the HR team, we probably cannot call it. So the first element that we want to talk about what I think we have done, what has helped us um, build the culture, what has helped our employees have faith in us, is this overarching theme of care and connect. Now, having said that, last year in particular, we worked on two themes. Okay, um, one theme was well-being. right? And I guess you have and we talked about physical well-being as well as the mental side of it, because one needs to recognize that one does spend a reasonable amount of time at work, and it is banking. We are here. Uh, we are practically called an essential services, um, and therefore we need to cater to customers. So there are inherent pressures in our jobs, right? So we have done the work. We do our typical. You'll have your regional cricket tournaments. We did a national stepathlon kind of stuff where we encouraged teams across the country to participate slash compete slash whatever. We conducted some chess championships, quizzing. So that's one aspect of the element, which is your well-being. So well-being was one element. So I do a host of things. I'll tell you a story. When we say what we mean by well-being, what we mean by care, um, you know um, one of the collection executives, so he was on the field. He was on a collections thing with a customer, and he was coming back, and he took a bus, and somehow he slipped from the bus, and poor guy, he fell down and had a very serious injury, and you have your hospital insurance cover, etc., etc. But obviously, when there's a grave injury, the costs associated could be a lot more, right? And as it would have it, my MD was, you know, in a nearby location. So what Vasu did was actually he visited this employee who's a collections executive at the hospital and assured the family on spot that do not worry, we will take care of the expenses. And we paid probably something close to some 11 odd lakhs for a particular for that particular. There was a serious leg injury. Okay, so he was really we had to practically ampute parts of it and put it back. So it was a pretty straining process. Um, but what I'm trying to explain is that, particularly at junior levels, we are more than willing to go out of our ways to help employees have a smooth life. So that's one aspect. The other aspect was family, you know, and how we could involve families of uh, of our workforce into into the success that is Equitas, into the success that is the particular employee, because he's a part of the bank, right? So I did a few small things to encourage participation of families in the Equitas um, ethos. It's like so we had so every branch we did a family day kind of stuff, right? No? So where what happened is that we had the families of all the branch people come over to the branch, and where we kind of had a small tea and snacks kind of stuff, and the area manager or the cluster manager or whoever was the leader in that area, he or she would come around and give a little bit of talk about what we are, what's the bank about, what kind of activities do we do, and why is it important that um, the employee is contributing to the Equitas success story. So we do a lot of work in CSR and all. So we run 8 schools, we run a hospital. So these matters are not always known to people. So we take these opportunities to also talk about some of these things that when we use this beyond banking theme. So those are some of the things that we have done last year, which was um, probably a start from compared to the previous years. Obviously, we're going to continue it this year as well, but no, since you said specifically last year, yeah. Yes, today I agree that the opportunities in the world is a lot more than what it was earlier. So yes, and employees have choices. Every one of us have choices. So it is important when we are building an institution. We show the path towards a long term what we are trying to build over a longish period of time. So that's important, I guess. Um, how we have done it is that I think the first thing that I insist as a HR leader is that HR has to be embedded in business. HR cannot be in a silo. HR cannot work in a silo. HR has to work alongside business because my if you ask why does HR exist. I think one of the biggest reasons for HR's existence is to ensure that we have more performers in the system for my current and future needs. So that's what HR, I think, needs to do. And I can only do it if I work alongside business operations, IT, risk, whatever have you, to ensure that the bank grows together. Um, we need to give solutions. We need to find real solutions to business issues that are plaguing, and it's yeah, and it starts from the AC not working or the light, the desktop not being there or whatever have you. But it does grow into areas that how can I engage with a different set of customers? How do I equip people to learn new skills? So those are areas that we are getting into. Um, it starts from so we run a program which is called hiring right. So what is hiring right? It's all but you equip your line managers to hire the right people. And how do I make every candidate experience a memorable experience? So that's what hiring right as a program does, right? So you just try to standardize questions. You try to give people markers as to what could constitute as a high performer. We have done a bit of work. We are trying to get some kind of tech intervention, but it's still some distance away, I would tend to think. But yeah, that's something else. That's something we are working on. Uh, we have a very strong onboarding system. We ensure that you have your uh, tools to perform your duty on day zero. You have, and the first thing when you come in, you first before you touch the field, you have to go through your induction process. You have to learn the systems. You have to learn the compliances. You have to learn how you interact with the customer, so that the basics are in place before you even hit the field. So that's what we have done. We have done a 30, 60, typical touch point that you have during your first year. And at least one meeting, I try to ensure that, it's at a skip level so that, people have the options if to talk about any supervisory issues. So yeah, so those are some of the things that we have tried to do as an organization. Between me and my team, we visit all our 1,000 branches. So in a year, between all of us, we'll visit all branches at least once, if not more. So you get a direct interaction with HR in person, um, where you can voice your thoughts. Um, and the second part of it, where you create a tracker of some kind, wherein you monitor what's been talked about and how you have um, helped overcome any issues. So that's what we have we have tried to do. Uh, we do the PMS reviews. There's a PMS survey that happens after the reviews, asking employees that how fair do you think was this entire exercise? Because it's uh, all of us all of us. Um, um know that appraisals is a very touchy point. So it's very important for us to ensure that the appraisal process is a fair and transparent process. And I'm very, you said that, what helps you win. So my NPS on the PMS survey, which talks about whether you consider PMS to be fair, my NPS is 72. So that itself tells you a story of uh, how we how we are trying to ensure that at least the system is fair. So yeah, those are lots of some of the stuff that we talk about. We talk about extensive learning and development activities. My per employee training mandates are more than five, which I think is pretty good compared to industry. And yeah, compensation is also important. No, let me also be very categorical. People sometimes undermine these hygiene factors related to compensation and fairness related to that. I think it's a very very important factor that you're fair and clear about how you're paying, um, which skills you pay more, which behaviors, which activities are rewarded and publicized. So those are things that we have been able to create. How do typically happens in an organization that people who are old timers, you will always find them telling that, oh, the new joiners have come in and their compensation is higher. So what we have started doing is that on our own we kind of do a benchmarking of sorts and ensure that the people who have been in the bank for a longer period of time do periodic connections on their compensation on our own without them having to talk talk to us or having to talk to the supervisor. So the bank does it suo moto kind of stuff. So yeah, those are length of stuff. Then we have, of course, your programs which allow people to move, which basically fast track your movement across grades, bands, roles through your IJPs, through your, whatever. We have something called Valor, which is a growth story where we allow people to take up. So if you're performing in performing individual in a role A, and you have a role B available, I would know who my high performers are and allow them to move roles seamlessly. So yeah, overall, some of these things we have done, which I think has helped us um, grow as an organization. No, yeah, you're right that, yes, like, whether I follow a particular diet or I follow a particular exercise routine is up to the individual. I completely agree with that statement. But the organization's role is to one, um, you know, offer them the solution that look, this is what is available. You please and a big thing about well-being is, I think, communication. Communication is key. That uh, you run an initiative, but if you don't have takers for that initiative, then I don't think we are doing a very good job. So yeah, we have your normal whatever you have your insurance and all, but what we have also done, we have tried to get some master health checkups done for employees. We run camps for I don't know, blood donation, eye checkup, and then whatever PCOS, cancer awareness, you name it. We probably would have done a cardiac checkup. So we have done the works related to that. Every state we have tried to have some health champions who are, who are employees whose parents or known relatives are in the medical profession, so that in case of and there's an emergency, people could reach out, and probably these people are better equipped than others to help employees. So we have tried to do things related to that. We this year we actually also did have done something related to OPDs, and we have offered employees on voluntary basis, if you want to take an OPD insurance. So that's something else that we have done. We have done a tie-up with a large medical institution, large India-wide medical institution, so that our employees can get benefits if they are approaching that particular chain for the checkups or medicines. So that's another element. In case people are there, and so this is an interesting one. Okay, what we do is that suppose I'm a new joiner, right, and I have fallen ill, right? So you don't have leaves with you, right? So when you're joining new, but what we allow is that we allow people in the department, to donate leaves to this particular employee. Okay, sometimes we allow advance of leaves. So we just um, in whichever manner possible, we try to help the employee overcome a medical emergency, because I think that part is very important, very core to us. So that's on the physical. This is, of course, the what I talked about is largely physical in nature. Um, on the mental side, of course, you have, firstly you have to have your EAP, the employee assistance program in place. So you need to have that, and that number or that helpline needs to be um, publicized well enough for all employees and their family members to know about it, so that people can take the help, right? So that's important. Um, Besides that, we also have your fun programs, your whatever festival celebrations. What are these? Essentially, it's an opportunity for employees to employees slash their families to express themselves. So that's what we are trying to do. That I know that you spend 10, 12 hours at work, but once in a while it's okay to um, you know have fun and be yourself. Um, then so we have um, we connect a program that we run where we celebrate monthly achievements, birthdays, and stuff like that. And it's done across. One of the challenges that we have as a team is, of course, we are dispersed, right? So we have more than 900 branches across the country. So to ensure that I'm trying to whatever I run reasonably. Well spread, well dispersed across the country. So that's what we are trying to do. So those are things that we're doing as a bank. We um, and we really believe that well-being, whether it's mental or physical. The organization has definitely a role to play, and we should encourage employees. Is probably the right word to have a healthy lifestyle.
Give it to the employee. So how do you see this feedback and how do you make a strategy out of?
Yeah, so I'm sorry if it came across that PMS survey is the only thing that we do. That's not so, the touch point that I said, that when we kind of visit branches and etc. Those are also touch points, and we kind of take feedback from employees on that. We also have skip levels. We also had that focus groups sometimes. Even MD conducts sometimes FGDs of people around, just to hear from them that what can we do to improve Equitas. It's a very important thing that that we always kind of talk about. How can we make Equitas a better place? And that's something Vasu, me, all the business leaders, we constantly strive to do, right? Um, so taking feedback. So we run something which we um, we take feedback from about the manager from his or her employee, his or her team. So we do that on a regular basis. We take feedback from departments on how we can make their life better. We have town halls which Vasu conducts, or my business leaders conduct, or I conduct, or to take this. Now, yes, there'll be one or two elements which people would love to do. Now, as long as it's related to your work, I have something called PDP, which is your professional development program, where people can pursue that. But I would not run that probably as an engagement module. So PDP is fundamentally, you want to do a course, or you want to do something which helps you. If it's remotely work related, I would probably sponsor parts of it or full of it, and matters related to that. So it's very simple program, right? So, but yeah, so how we have done it is that we capture the feedback in a system of sorts, and then we track for solutioning. Because I think one of the things that I mentioned earlier was competence, right? So competence and trust is comes from here. That unless I am able to show my competence, that I am capable to solve your problem, you will not come back to me the second time. And that demonstration is important at all levels, right? So if some employee has talked to me about this is the issue that he or she is facing, it's my responsibility to ensure that the issue is, I wouldn't say resolved, but the issue is addressed. Because some of it can be, um, employee specific, but not necessarily um, bank related. So those are caveats that we put in place when we are acting. Fundamentally, what we do, we encourage leaders to come together, have discussions, come out of their silos, talk. Um, because if you know, it's simple. If a team eats together, I think it solves many of the problems. So we encourage leaders doing that, and yeah. Uh, and we're suppose suppose I am going there, or say even my one of say my liabilities head is visiting. He will ensure that he meets up with asset people as well. So and vice versa. So that uh, so that bonding is very important. So I think that's what is required to make an organization progress. Um, Now, okay, so I'll tell you what my experience has been, and I think I think firstly it's important that HR understands business. It's very 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 important that we have basic understanding of whichever industry you are part of. Yeah, um, we should know the basics of accounting, the basics of risk. So that's something that I would definitely say. Um, on a behavioral point, yeah, with uh, approach with a lot of passion, approach with a lot of empathy, approach with a lot of commitment. So those are three words that come to my mind when I think what we do. Um, build relationships with your stakeholders, build relationships with the industry stalwarts, build relationships across your competitors, because it's only by learning. It's not possible. I have a saying that in your own lifetime you cannot make all the mistakes, so you have to learn from others to uh, to prevent some of them. So that's how I would talk about. Um, Network, invest your own professional development. invest, from time to time to go back to school, learn something new, come back, try and see what you can implement. Learn technology. I think another important, very important thing that's coming about is learn technology. Right? Nothing, at least, learn basics of DBMS or SQL, because it's you cannot run away from technology today. Please, so you please make yourself comfortable with it. So that, yeah. So those are some of the things I would I would talk about.
Great, sir.
Keep
I hope
evolving.
many
Keep
people can.
evolving.
Sure. Yeah. So from you, it's like keep evolving and be committed to your work. It's one of the best things that you can do. Right. So the next question would be, sir.
Uh, the dream matter, of course, it's an absolute privilege to know you people, and some of the wonderful works that you and your team have been doing. And kudos to Prashant for building such a wonderful institution. Um, so thank you for conducting, this unbiased employee survey and benchmarking against all the global best practices. It helps organizations like us to learn, to grow. Um, So that's what I would think that you your approach is very different. Your approach is very fresh. So yeah, I must congratulate you for doing a fantastic work. Transparent. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Transparent, engaging, uh, and inspiring. I think I would want to say thank you. Thank you for your continued contribution towards making Equitas the most valuable bank for all stakeholders. Your recognitions continue to propel us to work determinedly towards greater glories. As a bank, we want to grow alongside you, grow along with you uh, over the coming years. And we do believe that the best years of the bank are yet to come. So thank you being a great brand ambassador for us.
Hopefully, the best years that are yet to come will be with your employees as well, and they will also take the advantage and they will be satisfied in their work as well. So hope to see that,
Absolutely.
sir.
Absolutely.
So thanks for
Thank you
your
so
time,
much.
sir.